I want to give a quick thank you to Keen for sponsoring today's video, but I will talk to you about Keen in a little bit. This is not a drill. This is me in the flesh sitting here in front of the camera on YouTube again after forever. Hola my beautiful lotus flowers, welcome back or welcome to my channel. If you're into nerding out on everything astrology, spirituality, and self-transformation, this is the community for you. Today we are talking about the full moon in Capricorn happening on July 3rd. Yes, this is my return to YouTube after a while of being gone. If you're not sure what happened to me or you want to be more updated, be sure you're following me on Instagram and be sure to watch my last video. It was a May vlog showing you guys some of the moving process, some of my raw thoughts on the moving process and more. So be sure you go do that right now. I am in my new filming space, so bear with me if there's anything that's a little weird or different. It is a smaller space, so you are seeing the edge of my bed here. I apologize. Anywho, let's get into the reading so you can know what to expect around the full moon in Capricorn. Let's start off with a couple of the general themes that are going to take precedence around this full moon. I want you guys to remember that while watching this is a general energy reading. This may not pertain perfectly to everybody watching this. We all experience these energies differently. And if anything I say does not quite resonate with your experience around this full moon, that is a-okay. One, nothing's wrong with you. And two, your intuition is more powerful than anything else. So your intuition is speaking to you differently than others, and that is okay, me included. I do not think that I know everything in terms of the energy of the stars and the moon and the planets. So with that being said, hopefully this will give you some general guidance for the full moon so you're not completely lost, or it kind of gives you some framework to go by. In case you're not familiar, the time of the full moon is a time of releasing, whereas the new moon is more so a time of action or resetting intentions. So the full moon is going to possibly bring up a lot of emotions or illuminate a lot of shadows that were hiding that you may not have been aware of, but all of them come to the light for your own benefit. So we have a full moon in Capricorn. We are talking a lot about the area of the 10th house, where we're focusing on career and goals and our public image in general. So we're going to find a lot of emotions, or we're going to be able to recognize a lot of obstacles around this area of life at this time. So the first question you might find yourself asking is, where have you been neglecting yourself, your personal life, and personal relationships for your own career or goals? So as the full moon tries to bring us more in touch with our emotions and where we're having emotional tension and we need release, there may be some blockages around your career or goals. Maybe there are things you have been neglecting in your personal life. Maybe you've been way too indulged in your career, in monetary pursuits, etc. And you need to slow down. The reason that the personal relationships may be very much highlighted here is because a full moon is formed when there's an opposition between the position of the moon and the position of the sun. So the full moon is always going to be in the sign that is opposite the position of the sun. At the time of the full moon in Capricorn, the sun will be in Cancer, because Cancer and Capricorn are opposing signs. The moon rules over Cancer, so there are always Cancerian themes whenever we have the moon moving through a certain position. Cancer energy is always present there. So when we have Capricorn opposing Cancer, Cancer is challenging Capricorn to take a look at family life, personal relationships, and the emotions around that, and how the career intertwines with that. So perhaps you've been neglecting something in that area of your life, and you need to take a step back and figure out how you can further nourish those relationships. Not everything is about monetary pursuits, even though you may mean well. The pursuit may be very much well intended. It may be that you're so indulged in that pursuit for your family, for your loved ones, or for yourself even, because you want to live the life that you desire. And that's amazing. However, you cannot neglect the emotions that have formed around this energy. there are likely, if you've been neglecting your more spiritual, emotional, internal side for external pursuits, then most likely some blockages have been created, and those blockages may be coming to the surface at this time. Leading us into our next theme for the Capricorn full moon is how can you create more balance and harmony between your personal life and your professional life? But before we talk more about this question and expand on that energy, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about today's sponsor, Keen. So as you guys know, I love doing moon readings and astrology readings. I'm all about it, but I don't always constantly give out readings, and I don't currently do my own. But that is where, have no fear, Keen is here. So I recently got my own reading on Keen, and I was super impressed with the experience. I had a 5-minute call with the advisor that I chose, and she basically reaffirmed some things I was overthinking when it came to my career goals. I don't want to expand on it too much because it is personal, but she was incredible. She was very kind, reassuring, so on and so forth. I mean, I could sit here and ramble, but let me get into the meat of Keen. So if you want to get a reading on Keen like I did, it's super simple to get started. All you have to do is create an account, and you'll be able to choose from the hundreds of readers who are online right this second. Literally, they have readers online at the second you're there. So you can just call an advisor on the spot and get a reading within a few minutes. These readers each have unique specialties designed to provide a deeper understanding of your specific situation. So for me, I chose a reader who specialized in destiny and life path. So if you want to learn more about your career like me, you want to talk about your love life, your financial goals, whatever it may be, there is a reader ready to provide clarity for your specific situation. And as a new customer on Keen, you can try your first 10 minutes for only $1.99, which is up to $99 in savings. $99 in savings, like that is a mind-blowing amount. But anyways, if you want to get started on Keen and save big on your first reading with them, then you can head to the link, trykeen.com/Marisa, the link in the description down below. Thank you again to Keen for sponsoring today's video. Appreciate you guys so much. So moving back into the energy around the full moon in Capricorn, let's expand on balancing your personal life and your professional life. What I really want to highlight with this question around this full moon is that the fulfillment we gain in life begins with turning within. The first environment we should look to in order to cultivate true fulfillment is our inner home, which is our body, and the home in which we physically reside, which are both themes related to Cancer. Cancer energy is important here because, like I said, each full moon deals with the axis of opposing signs. So Cancer, being ruled by the moon itself, is Capricorn's opposing sign, and the opposing sign often helps illuminate places where the other sign may need more attention. In this case, the sign being illuminated is Capricorn, a very goal-focused, career-focused, financial-focused sign, usually. Now let's talk a little bit about communication around the Capricorn full moon. So this full moon will also be opposing Mercury in Cancer, and oppositions often create a bit of a challenge or a tension between the planets involved. So just be wary of some difficulty getting people to understand exactly what you mean, especially when it comes to your personal relationships. Because this is the full moon and we're dealing with emotions, there may be some difficulty articulating your specific emotions around this time. But not only that, Capricorn is a very stubborn sign typically. That's one of the reasons they're so tenacious and so ambitious, is nobody can tell them otherwise. So some of that energy may be feeding into our communications around this full moon. So there may be unnecessary tension or disagreements that form when you're articulating deep emotions. So although the moon may shed light on areas where you need to nourish some of your personal relationships, it might be good to wait until the day after, around 24 hours after or 2 days after the full moon, where this opposition is no longer at its peak. I would advise to use the full moon's energy and what it's revealing to you to reflect on by yourself, reflect on it by yourself, collect your thoughts, collect your emotions, maybe write about it so you have a place where you've recorded them so you don't forget, or you know what you want to say or do next. And if there is an important conversation you feel you need to have based on what you've reflected on, then I would wait to have it until a couple days after the moon, because again, like I said, there may be some tension in the air. Despite some potential tension around the time of this full moon, we will also have the moon forming a trine with Jupiter in Taurus, another abundant earth sign and the planet of abundance in the abundant earth sign. So we may also be feeling a lot of hope and optimism and excitement around our goals as well. And this will be very beneficial for us to really recognize where we want to go moving forward based on our true passions, what we truly want to invest our time in, because Capricorn is also ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is one of the karmic planets in astrology, essentially considered kind of a ruler of time in a way. And so when you have Saturn involved here, time is of the essence, and Capricorns usually recognize that time is of the essence. They don't like to waste time because they know how valuable it is, and they always want to invest their time in something that really speaks to them and something that is very worthwhile to them. So this energy with Jupiter trine the moon brings a kind of a partnership between the moon and Jupiter. So if there's anything in particular, any pursuits that you're feeling particularly excited about around this time, that's probably a nudge from your intuition and a nudge from the planets that you may want to rethink your direction, and that may be the direction you need to go next. And anything that you're doing now that doesn't align with that needs to be let go. It needs to be released. That being said, it's a good time to also revisit your whys, the reasons behind why you do what you do. Maybe you kind of lost your way, and the reasons that you pursue the goals you're pursuing have become obsolete in a way, and you need to revisit your whys. You need to reflect on why you do what you do. Are the reasons you're doing things still genuine to who you are now, genuine to your future evolution? Whatever is calling you, whatever your intuition is telling you, does it still align with that? Let me give you a little advice if you have heard this reading and you're not entirely sure exactly what you're supposed to do with it. Here is my advice for you. Capricorn has a tenacious and ambitious spirit, but Capricorn also understands the importance of slow and steady wins the race rather than short-term gratification. So the full moon is equipped with a slower, grounded earth energy. Grounding practices that help you slow down and come back in tune with your body could prove to be even more beneficial at this time. Capricorn also rules the knees, joints, and the skeletal system. So I highly recommend taking the time to get into a deep stretching practice or a gentle yoga as a way to physically and energetically nourish yourself during the moon. Oftentimes, it's when we take time to reconnect with ourselves during the full moon that we obtain a lot of intuitive insight or creative inspiration that we wouldn't otherwise. And since we are dealing with an earth moon, being grounded in our body, the physical. Earth signs really deal with the physical and the material. So being connected to our physical body through practices like yoga, like I said, or even some soft exercise, really getting out into nature and connecting with the elements, might help bring that intuitive insight if you're kind of unsure, if you feel a little lost at this time. That is all for today's full moon and Capricorn reading. I hope you all enjoyed it. If any of this resonated with you, or if anything that I said resonated and it's after the full moon and you want to come back and tell me, please tell me. Comment down below what your feelings are around the time of this moon. I'd love to know. But until I see you next time, thank you so much for being here. As always, I appreciate you guys. I missed you guys so much. Thank you for your endless patience. Thank you. But until I see you in the next video, be sure that you watch these videos if you haven't already. And until next time, adios.